Picture this: the sound of waves crashing against the shore, the warm tropical sun kissing your skin, and the promise of paradise pulling you in. That's Punta Cana, one of the most beautiful places in the world, a dream vacation spot for millions every year. But what happens when that dream turns into a nightmare? What happens when someone you love vanishes into thin air, never to be seen again? This is not just another vacation story. This is the chilling case of a young girl who disappeared without a trace in Punta Cana, a place known for its pristine beaches, now stained with unanswered questions and haunting silence. Tonight, we're diving deep into every detail: what really happened in paradise, the theories the media won't tell you, and the dark possibilities that'll make you question just how safe a place like this truly is. And I want to hear from you, right now. Drop your thoughts in the comments. What do you think could have happened? Do you believe it was a random disappearance, or something far more sinister? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll see this case in a way you never expected. And if you're fascinated by stories that leave your mind racing, make sure you hit that subscribe button. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Her name was Emily Carter. Just 23 years old. A bright, ambitious young woman from a quiet suburban town in Georgia. The kind of girl whose smile could light up an entire room, whose laughter made you forget, even if just for a moment, how cruel the world could be. Emily had dreams, big ones. A recent college graduate with a passion for photography. She loved capturing the world through her lens, seeing beauty where others saw nothing. Her dream? To travel the world, build a portfolio, and one day open her own studio. She wasn't just chasing pictures, she was chasing life. And that's what brought her to Punta Cana. It was supposed to be the trip of a lifetime, a celebration. One final escape before diving headfirst into adulthood. Emily booked the trip with two close friends. 3 young women, filled with excitement, ready to soak up the sun, make memories, and maybe, just maybe, find inspiration for Emily's next big project. They arrived on a warm Saturday afternoon. June 18th. Check-in was smooth. They stayed at a luxurious beachfront resort, known for its endless buffets, poolside cocktails, and ocean views that felt like they belonged in a movie. A place where nothing bad ever happens, or so they thought. Emily was active on social media that day, posting smiling selfies on Instagram, tagging her location, sharing sunsets so breathtaking they barely looked real. Her last post? A photo of her standing barefoot on the beach, the sky melting into shades of gold and crimson. The caption read, "If only moments like this could last forever," and then, nothing. Complete silence. No more posts. No texts. No late-night FaceTime calls to her mom back home like she always did. It was as if the world simply stopped hearing from Emily Carter. And that's where the nightmare began. How does someone so full of life, so connected to the world, just vanish? Do you think someone was watching her? Waiting for the perfect moment? Or was it all just a terrible accident? Comment below, what's your gut telling you right now? And if you're still with me, don't forget to subscribe. Because what comes next will chill you to your core. June 19, just one day after Emily Carter arrived in Punta Cana, everything changed. The day started off like any other perfect vacation. Emily and her 2 friends woke up early, eager to explore everything the island had to offer. Breakfast at the resort buffet, tropical fruits, coffee, and laughter filling the air. Emily even posted an Instagram story that morning, a short clip of the ocean view from their balcony. The caption? Living the dream. But no one knew it would be the last time she shared anything, ever. Around 11 a.m., the girls headed down to the beach. Witnesses later said they saw the trio sunbathing, sipping drinks, occasionally dipping their toes into the clear blue water. Emily seemed happy, relaxed, like every other tourist there. For hours, everything seemed normal. But somewhere, somehow, something changed. By late afternoon, around 4:30 p.m., the group decided to split up. One friend wasn't feeling well and went back to the room. The other wanted to check out a nearby market. And Emily? She said she was staying a little longer. She wanted to walk the beach alone, clear her mind, maybe take a few more photos. That was the last time anyone who knew her saw her. Resort staff later recalled seeing a young woman matching Emily's description walking north along the shore, toward a less crowded part of the beach, near a stretch of rocky cliffs rarely visited by tourists. She wasn't running. She wasn't in distress. Just walking, alone, camera in hand. And then, nothing. By 6 p.m., when her friends returned to the room, Emily wasn't there. At first, they weren't worried. Maybe she was still out, maybe she met someone, maybe she lost track of time. But as the sun set, and the skies darkened, that uneasy feeling began creeping in. Calls went unanswered. Messages left unread. Not like Emily at all. By 8 p.m., panic set in. Her friends reported her missing to the resort staff. An hour later, local authorities were alerted. That night, a frantic search began. Resort staff combed the beach. Security reviewed hours of footage from the resort's cameras. But here's the chilling part. Emily wasn't captured on any of them leaving the beach, or walking back toward the resort. It was as if she vanished into thin air. The last digital trace of Emily? A draft post found unsent on her phone's cloud backup, never published. A photo of the ocean, with just 2 haunting words typed below it, feeling watched. Was it a coincidence? A poetic caption? Or a cry for help that no one ever saw? One local vendor claimed he saw a girl matching Emily's description near the cliffs, speaking with a man. Tall, pale, wearing a white linen shirt. But his story changed. First she was laughing, then she looked scared. No one else saw them. No security footage. No photos. Just one man's memory, or maybe, his imagination. Do you believe him? Or was it a desperate attempt for attention once the story hit the news? Tell me, what's your gut telling you right now? And here's the question that still haunts everyone. How does someone disappear in broad daylight, on a crowded beach, and not a single camera catches it? Before we dive into the theories, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Because trust me, it only gets darker from here. The sun had barely dipped below the horizon when the first desperate calls for help rang out, but what happened next? Well, it's the part of this story that leaves everyone wondering, was this case doomed from the very start? By 8 p.m., Emily Carter's friends were pacing the resort lobby, panic written all over their faces. Staff at first seemed helpful, sending a few workers to check the beach and surrounding areas. But hours ticked by. No Emily. No answers. Just rising fear. It wasn't until nearly 9 p.m., almost 5 agonizing hours after anyone last saw her, that local police were officially notified. Think about that, 5 hours. In a case like this, every minute matters. Authorities arrived, slow, almost casual. As if disappearances like this weren't shocking. Maybe they weren't, not there. The initial response? A simple walk along the beach. Flashlights sweeping through the night, voices calling Emily's name into the darkness. No dogs. No helicopters. No divers. Just a few officers, looking like they were going through the motions. The resort? At first, they promised full cooperation. But by midnight, staff became tight-lipped. Managers insisting Emily must have wandered off on her own, maybe drinking, maybe she'd show up in the morning. One even suggested she ran off with a local. As if that made it all okay. It wasn't until the next day, more than 12 hours later, that search teams expanded their efforts. Finally, dogs were brought in. A helicopter scanned the coastline. Divers checked the waters. But by then, was it already too late? What's worse? Reports surfaced that the resort delayed giving police full access to their security footage, claiming technical issues. Glitches. Gaps in the video. How convenient, right? Some believe that precious time was wasted. Time that could have saved Emily. Others whisper about something darker, a cover-up, someone protecting the resort's image, worried more about tourist dollars than a missing girl. What do you think? Was this just bad luck, or did someone, or something, stand in the way of finding Emily that night? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe, because the deeper we go, the uglier this story becomes. With no clear answers, no trace of Emily, the question burns, what really happened that night in Punta Cana? Theories have surfaced. Some innocent, others terrifying. And each one leaves us wondering, was this tragedy preventable, or was Emily caught in something far bigger than anyone could imagine? The first theory? One that's almost too simple, too heartbreaking. What if Emily didn't meet foul play at all? What if she simply got lost? Wandered off into the night, maybe after a drink or two, chasing the sound of the ocean waves. Punta Cana's beaches are beautiful by day, but by night? They're vast, dark, and unforgiving. One wrong step, a slip on wet rocks, a hidden current, and she's gone. Swallowed whole by the sea. No screams. No traces. Just silence. And it wouldn't be the first time. In 2019, another tourist vanished along the same coast. No evidence, no answers, just a family left with nothing but grief. But, something about this doesn't sit right, does it? If it was an accident, why the delay in the resort search? Why the missing footage? And why were locals whispering about something much darker? Which brings us to theory 2, the one that chills you to the bone, human trafficking. You see, the Dominican Republic is no stranger to these shadows. Reports have surfaced over the years, of young women, tourists, vanishing without a trace. Some resurfacing months later, others never found at all. Punta Cana, with its endless stream of visitors, is a perfect hunting ground. A place where predators can blend in, watching, waiting, targeting those who look lost, or vulnerable. Could Emily have been marked the moment she stepped off that plane? Followed, studied, until the perfect moment came? The missing footage, the delay, the nervous resort staff, does it all point to something more sinister, someone covering up the fact that she was taken? Then there's theory 3, one that cuts deeper because it feels so personal. What if the danger wasn't lurking in the shadows, but standing right next to her? Someone she knew, someone she trusted. A friend, a new acquaintance, maybe even someone she met that night. The harsh reality? Most disappearances don't come from strangers. They come from people within arm's reach. A fight, jealousy, a secret no one saw coming. And in a foreign country, with unfamiliar laws, covering it up might be easier than you think. And finally, the darkest theory of all, a stranger abduction. Random, brutal, and terrifying. We like to think resorts are safe, that our vacations protect us. But Emily's story is a painful reminder, evil doesn't take vacations. Tourists have disappeared from paradise before. Aruba, Mexico, and now, maybe Punta Cana joins that list. No warning. No explanation. Just gone. So now I ask you, which theory do you believe? Could this have been a tragic accident, or was it something far worse? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to know where you stand. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button, because what we uncover next will change how you see this case forever. The news of Emily's disappearance didn't stay quiet for long. Within hours, the story began to ripple through the local community, whispers of the missing tourist spreading like wildfire. And soon, the media caught on. Local reporters were the first on the scene, cameras rolling, lights flashing, capturing the grim faces of resort staff and frantic tourists. Interviews aired on Dominican television, painting a picture of a vacation gone horribly wrong. But it wasn't just a local tragedy. This story was global. Back home, Emily's family broke their silence. Their voices cracked, heavy with pain, as they begged for answers. Begged for help. A mother, staring into the camera, pleading, "If anyone knows where my daughter is, please, bring her back to me." Her father's words, even harder to hear, "We trusted this place. We thought she'd be safe, and now, we're just praying she's still out there." Those raw emotions lit a fire online. Social media exploded, hashtags like #FindEmily and #Missing in Punta Cana trending within hours. People shared her photos, last known locations, even rumors, anything that could bring Emily home. TikTok users began creating timelines, theories, and videos dissecting every clue. Reddit threads popped up, users analyzing satellite images, speculating about security footage, questioning the resort's involvement. The internet became a search party. And soon, strangers who had never met Emily were raising money. A GoFundMe campaign surfaced, launched by a family friend, pleading for help to fund private investigators, search efforts, and legal aid. The response? Overwhelming. Thousands donated, because they saw their own sister, daughter, friend, in Emily. But the question remains, did this explosion of attention help, or did it drown the truth in a sea of rumors? What do you think? Did the media coverage bring us closer to the answers, or did it only make the mystery worse? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you're still with me, don't forget to subscribe. There's more you need to hear. As the days turned into weeks, hope began to fade. But this case? It's far from over. The investigation remains open, though answers feel just as distant as the day Emily vanished. Authorities in the Dominican Republic insist they're still working the case. New leads come and go, reported sightings, shadowy figures, whispers of a car spotted near the resort that night. But every time hope flickers, it's snuffed out. False alarms, dead ends, silence. And as the investigation stalled, Emily's family refused to give up. They pushed for U.S. involvement, contacting the embassy, demanding the FBI step in. Because when your daughter's missing in a foreign land, you'll move mountains to bring her home. The family's attorney spoke to the press. We need more than promises. We need action. We need answers. But even now, no suspects have been named. No arrests. No one is being held accountable. Some say the local authorities shifted focus, quietly brushing Emily's case aside. After all, Punta Cana survives on tourism. A missing American girl? That's bad for business. So here we are, months later, and Emily's face is still plastered across missing person bulletins. Her social media? Frozen in time. The comments fill up daily, strangers, friends, people who never knew her, all asking the same haunting question. Where is Emily? What do you think? Should the U.S. government do more? Should the FBI take this case? Tell me in the comments, your voice matters. And don't forget, subscribe. We're not done yet. As Emily's case lingers in painful uncertainty, experts have started weighing in. Voices from the world of criminology, private investigation, and journalism, each offering insight and unsettling truths. One criminologist who's followed cases like this for years said something that chilled me. Disappearances in tourist hotspots follow a disturbingly predictable pattern. The setting is paradise, the ending, a nightmare. The crowds, the unfamiliar surroundings, the predators who know exactly where to hunt. And sometimes, the perfect crime is committed in plain sight. A private investigator, hired in similar cases, explained why families often hit a wall so quickly. You're fighting more than a mystery, you're fighting a system designed to protect its image, not your loved one. Local authorities, stretched thin. Resorts, desperate to avoid bad press. And in the chaos? Crucial evidence fades, witnesses vanish, and cases like Emily's go cold. A Dominican crime journalist added, "It's no secret. Tourists disappear here. Some by accident, some by design. But not every story makes it past the resort walls. And that's the part no one wants to hear." They all agree, time is the enemy. The longer a case drags, the less likely it finds an ending. International cases? They fade even faster. Jurisdictional red tape, language barriers, corruption, they all work against families like Emily's. And it begs the question, how many other Emilys are out there? Girls, women, travelers, who vanish in paradise, and whose stories never make the headlines. What do you think is the biggest reason cases like this disappear? Is it the system, or something far more sinister? Comment below, I'm reading every word. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the time. This story isn't over. When a young woman like Emily disappears, it's easy to get lost in theories, timelines, and cold facts. But behind every missing person case is a family, shattered. A mother who wakes up every morning praying it was all a bad dream, a father replaying every decision, wondering if he could have done more, siblings left in limbo, caught between hope and heartbreak. Can you imagine? Packing your daughter's suitcase for the trip of a lifetime, and days later, that same suitcase is returned to you, unopened, untouched, but she's gone. What do you even do with that? And the hardest part? These disappearances, they don't just happen in far-off places. They happen in the very spots we call paradise. The beaches we dream of, the resorts we save for. So how do you protect yourself without living in fear? Experts say, simple precautions matter. Let someone know your schedule, check in regularly, stay aware, even in places that seem safe. But none of this is to blame Emily, or anyone else who's vanished. Because the truth is, they were just living, just like you, just like me. If there's one thing you can do after hearing Emily's story, it's this: don't let her be forgotten. Share her name. Share her face. Support her family if you can, donate, share their posts, keep the conversation alive. Because silence? That's what killers, traffickers, and corrupt systems count on. And now, I ask you, what would you do if this was your sister, your daughter, your best friend? Would you ever stop searching? Would you ever stop hoping? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe. Because stories like Emily's? They deserve to be told, until there's nothing left to say but, we found her. Now, it's your turn. What's your take on Emily's mysterious disappearance? Which theory feels closest to the truth, and which part of this case haunts you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm watching, and I want to hear what you think. And if you found yourself drawn in by this story, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Because this case? It's still unfolding, and you won't want to miss what comes next. In our next video, we're diving into another chilling case that shook the Caribbean. Another paradise, another disappearance, and still no answers. You don't want to miss it. Until then, stay curious, stay safe, and never forget, behind every headline, there's a family still searching.